love your sports car and you are also a Porsche fan to boot, then there is indeed good news for you because Porsche India recently launched 2 more variants to their already existing lineup of the Boxster and the Cayman. And now this Boxster here comes with the suffix GTS, which means Gran Turismo Sport, which in turn means more power from the engine. Okay, the engine is here, and of course there are some styling changes which will only add value to the car. But more of that later. This indeed looks very inviting, doesn't it? Time for me to get in behind the wheels.
The GTS range Porsche models are the cars which feature an uprated engine churning out more power and a chassis fitted with Porsche active suspension management to give it a more dynamic handling, and with a few cosmetic changes as well to indicate that you are indeed driving a car which is little different than the run-of-the-mill model.
In terms of the engine, both the regular Boxster as well as this GTS uses the same unit, a 3.4-litre liquid-cooled flat 6. But there is a difference. In the GTS, it churns out more power and more torque. And this is what makes the GTS a lot more drivable and enjoyable. And in fact, you can feel the difference when you start driving the GTS.
The Boxster GTS generates 15 more brake horsepower more than the standard Boxster out of the same engine, and also 10 more Newton meters of torque, which helps it to get to a top speed of 279 kilometers per hour, and the 100 kilometer mark comes up in just 4.7 seconds. You might say that this is well below the supercar standards of today, and so it is, but the fact is that the Boxster GTS still remains an awfully fast car, and it is the light chassis which helps in making it so. The Boxster weighs in at just over 1700 kgs, giving it a nice power to weight ratio.
If you've been watching the show, you know my affinity for mid-engine cars, and it's not without a reason either. Mid-engine cars always tend to handle better because the weight distribution is much more even. And there is another big reason why I like mid-engine cars. What Porsche and many other manufacturers call the emotional appeal. Yes, the emotional appeal consists of the sound that you hear every time you throttle the car. See what I mean? And in a mid-engine car, the audio is just unbeatable. So much so that you don't even need a stereo system. Although this comes with a very nice Bose system, but I would rather hear this. And in this car, to double up the emotional appeal, so to say, Porsche has given you a button. And if you press this one, it just doubles the volume of the audio. It's pure, unadulterated music to my ears. A lot of top-end car manufacturers these days indulge in a lot of technical jugglery, and Porsche sits somewhere on top of the heap here, being a very sophisticated manufacturer. Consequently, you have a host of features, or rather I should say technical wizardry in this car, which makes sure that it's not only very drivable, it gives you very high performance, but also it's very safe. You have stuff like Porsche active suspension management, or PASM as they call it. Then you have torque vectoring, and then you have stuff like electronically controlled limited slip differential. And what all these things do is very simple. It keeps you out of trouble, especially if you are a BHP-starved lunatic who wants to take every corner flat out. And all this technical jugglery ensures that no matter what you do, the host of safety features, including 8 airbags in this car, doesn't pop out that easily. In terms of practicality, I would say that this Boxster is a car which you can actually use on an everyday basis. It's a small car, it's not very big, measures in at about 4.2 meters. It's really drivable, its engine is very tractable, comes with an automatic transmission, all the bright boxes you will take if you want to use it on an everyday basis. But the fact is that we live in a country called India, which is ages behind in terms of good roads. So you do encounter stuff like monstrous car breakers, and this is where the problem comes in, because it does have a very low ground clearance. Every time you go over a speed breaker, chances are you will hear that gut-wrenching scraping of the underbelly. Breaks my heart. Can't do this.
Porsche first had the GTS badge on their cars with an extra dose of punch way back in 1963 in the Carrera 904 and in the 80s and 90s in the Porsche 924 and the 928. Both had GTS variants. But after that, it was a long gap, and recently in 2007, it was the SUV Cayenne which got the GTS variant as well. And now the range is extended to both the Boxster and the Cayman as well.
What I drive today is the convertible variant of the Boxster GTS, with the top going down at the press of this electric button in a matter of few seconds. And on a nice day like this, it really provides a nice option of driving topless. It's a little difficult to comment on the color schemes and the design of any Porsche, because most of the Porsches, be it the Boxster, be it the 911, are highly customized according to individual preference. And the customization options really go into the finest of details and very little things, including, for example, the color of the thread used for this hand stitching. You can choose the color of that, you can even choose the color of the seat belt here, and of course you can add on as many features you want. But basically in this Boxster GTS, the interiors remain almost the same as in the regular Boxster. Not much has changed, but then that is not to say that the Boxster doesn't come equipped with everything that you might need. A very nice instrumentation cluster, a touchscreen display here, everything that mixes luxury with performance. And in fact, what you get additional here is plenty of GTS badging. In terms of design here, the GTS has some subtle changes to it. For example, the bi-xenon headlamps here have been smoked out. It gives it a very different appearance. The entire front end here is new, and more importantly, the GTS has grown in length. It's 30 millimeters longer than the standard Boxster. Even at the back, there are some changes which I'll just show you.
Not only these bi-xenon headlamps are smoked out, but also they come out with what Porsche calls the dynamic light system, which ensures that the headlight swivels around while cornering, following the steering angle and the speed. And this translates into much better illumination around tight corners, and the running lights are speed dependent and adjust automatically to the speed of the car. And the GTS here rides on 20-inch alloy wheels with the design borrowed from its faster and more powerful sibling, the Carrera S, to give it a typical aggressive sports car stance.
And as you walk towards the back of the car, you see similar changes. Tail light here has been smoked out, a diffuser has been added, and then you see the twin exhaust painted in high gloss black, and they really look nice. And then of course you have this dynamic spoiler here. The addition of this GTS variant to the Boxster range is sure to give you as a buyer a little more choice. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm quite happy with the extra juice that it produces. A few more BHPs are always welcome, more so in a sports car. I'd always believed that the Boxster is a nice alternative to buying a full-blown supercar. This car here looks nice, drives very well, and very importantly, it costs substantially lower than a full-blown supercar, including its elder sibling, the 911. So if you're looking for fun on wheels and you don't want to pay a whole lot for it, you'd do well to have a look at this Boxster GTS.
Porsches don't come in cheap, and neither does this Boxster GTS, priced at Rs 1.15 crore ex-showroom Delhi. But then if you do have the moolah and you desire a reasonably fast car which would delight you, then this Boxster GTS should be your choice.